Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Scorpio. So Scorpio, I'm doing your reading as always with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So Scorpio, your reading today feels like it's bringing this myth to the forefront, which is very interesting because I have been reading about myth. I have always been interested in mythological stories and, the stories of the Greek gods, the Roman gods, and, because astrology always touches on those points, right? It's interesting how it connects with this more mythical kind of seeing nature, seeing the power of the divine. And here it feels like it connects to the myth that portrays a beast, where it's like you are going into a maze, you're going into a labyrinth that feels like this it's almost like going down this rabbit hole of information, right? It feels like, whenever you start researching anything, right? Whether it is on Google or, even if it is, on social media, you enter the app with a certain thought in mind, with a certain desire, with a certain goal. But then it's almost like there are so many different things and informations and types of complementary content, right, that diverges the initial search, right? And that feels like this maze that you're entering, right? So this is why it touches on this myth, right, that is set in Crete, right, a Greek island, right? I feel like it's an island from what I remember from the things I've read. But it's like in this island, King Minos built this, made Daedalus and his son Icarus build this maze in order to keep this beast that is the Minotaur, or was the Minotaur, right? Half man, half bull. It's like this very different creature that was seen as a beast, right? And that needed to be kept inside this maze, right? And, he would feed this Minotaur with people, right? Young people. And so the interesting thing is that his daughter, the king's daughter, Ariadne, she fell in love with the beast, right? If I remember correctly. And so the king ordered Theseus, I think it's how to pronounce it, Theseus to slay the beast, right? And so he commands that Theseus would go inside this this maze so that he could slay this beast. No, the daughter of King Minos fell in love with Theseus, but I feel like there was some sort of, the king was not so happy, so he put Theseus on to this mission, right? Almost like this deadly mission, just to test him, right? And if he would come out alive, then he would allow his daughter to marry Theseus. I feel like that's the story, right? So that's pretty much what I'm seeing here for you, Scorpio. I feel like there is, the guidance straight from the beginning is hold on to your first thought. Hold on to the beginning of this thread, right? Because this is what is going to guarantee your way back home, or your way back to somebody that is holding that thread, right? Is it called the thread of Ariadne? I feel like that's what it's called, right? Because it's become this metaphor of, remember where you came from, remember from, the starting point, from where you began this process into this labyrinth, right? So we start off with you here with this Page of Swords, Scorpio, and this card was bringing about this phrase, right? hold on to your first thought. It's the beginning of the research. It's the beginning of this, you know, going down this rabbit hole, going into this maze, right? Because there is something about this initial thought that is really important, because it is holding space, right? The Four of Pentacles coming next, it's talking about holding a position, right? This feels like, you know, the entrance of the labyrinth, in a sense that if you remember, or if you hold on to this thought that is going to hold on to this space, it's like this space, it's going to be like that mark, right? That is going to help you come back to it, because we have the Six of Cups, right? And so there is, I want to say, a loved one, because the Queen of Cups is coming next, but there is this emotional thread, perhaps, right? That is going to keep you active, that is going to keep you, you know, on your toes, so that you don't get lost in your own thought process, right? Or you don't get distracted by other things that this maze could bring about, right? That, you know, entering it, it's like you know that you have to hold on to the beginning of this thread. Otherwise, you will lose your mind in terms of not knowing what you were searching in the beginning, or why was it that you entered this maze, right? And it's like, it's just interesting, because it's also talking about, like, nowadays it's so easy to, you know, go into any social media app and really get lost into it, right? It's like you enter, you know, wanting to search for somebody, or, you know, look into some account, and then when you see it, like, hours and hours go by, and you just you lost yourself in it, right? And this is what I'm seeing here for you. It's like, in order to not lose yourself into this maze, right, of different information, of, it's almost like coming through as like different stimuli, right, that are going to bombard you as soon as you enter it. So holding this spot, right, it's almost like this is at the entrance, right? So this is the spot that is yours, and that is going to ground you, that is going to make you come back because of this emotional thread. So there is this thought that, you know, it's like, remember what was your first thought. Remember why you entered this website, why you entered this search, why you entered this app, right? Because, or why you started, like, what was the first question? What was the first, like, what did you want to know, right? When you first initiated this search, right? That's the important thing, because this is what is going to ground you in terms of knowing how to get back to this initial thought, right? Because, as I said, there might be, as in the myth, right? There might be somebody with the Queen of Cups coming next that is waiting for you to return, right? That is waiting for you to come back, because it's almost like this search, this entering the maze is something that only you can do. But I feel like there is somebody that you love dearly, right? And they love you also, that is concerned about you not getting lost, right? Just like Ariadne with Theseus, right? It's like she's the one who gives him the thread, right? So that he knows the way back to her, the way back outside of this this maze, right? So this Six of Cups is playing the part of the emotional thread, although the thought, right, is also the beginning of the thread, right? So it's almost like there is like this overlapping of, it's almost like I'm seeing this like double thread, right? It's like they are looping or like interlacing or intertwining in each other, right? So it's like this mental thread, but there's also like this heart thread, right? Because I feel like there is something that is, it's like it's making you want to come out of the maze alive, right? And well, and, you know, with what you were searching for in your hands, or at least in your mind, right? Because, you know, it's interesting because in the myth, the mission, right, for Theseus to go in and out of the maze was to slay the beast, right? Was to kill the Minotaur. But for you, it's like this beast is your own mind, or like your own, how do I say this? It's almost like, it's like there is no real beast, right? But it's almost like the labyrinth itself is the tricky part, right? It is going to be the challenge that you will have to overcome to return to this one, right? Because I feel like there's also, you know, as in the myth, right? There is the daughter of the king, and then there is the king. Here represented by the King of Pentacles. And although, you know, usually I see the king and the queen as a couple, right? Here it was very clear to me, maybe because of the influence of the myth itself, that this is representing the daughter, right? Ariadne, and this is representing the king, Minos, right? That was the one who sent out you, Scorpio, as Theseus to the center of this labyrinth to slay the beast. And the representation here of this king Minos as the King of Pentacles is because he has this promise, right? If you come back alive, if you don't lose yourself and, you know, die in the process, in a sense, right? Die by the hands of the beast, right? It's like you will be granted a wish, you will be given a reward, and it feels like it involves, you know, the heart of this queen. So yes, that could be like just a metaphor for so many things, right? And this could be like this romantic view of the story, right? But I feel like there is something that is, it's like, you know, it's going to be rewarding, right? If you come back to it alive, because the reward itself feels like your upgrade. So the King of Swords coming next is you, right? It's like if you enter as, you know, the page, right? As somebody that it's like is discredited, right? It's like your credibility is not that high. It's like people don't really believe that you're going to make it away from this situation, or that you're going to come out alive, right? It's like there's something that you are not, it's like, let's say it's like if people were to give their opinion, or, you know, place a bet, right? Whether you would get lost in it or not, right? Or would you remain, let's say, close to your heart, right? Close to this Queen of Cups heart that is this emotional thread that will help you to come out of this, right? So, but there is this discredit, there is this distrust from others, right? I want to say that it's just like it is coming as vague, right? As others. So perhaps this is just your perception that you are seen as young and naive, right? In general, by others, right? It's not like you're asking the opinion of others, but it's just the sensation of, you know, being unprepared, or feeling too unexperienced, or too like just too young and naive for such, you know, unimportant mission, right? But this is also what is keeping you alive, right? It's like if you remember that you have somebody that you love dearly to come back to, and that is going to be a reward, perhaps even financial, but I want to say mostly in terms of maturity, right? Of mental clarity. It's almost like slaying the beast is almost like slaying your like the mental distractions, right? Or all of the different paths that your brain can trick you into staying in that maze, right? So there is this accomplishment in terms of staying mindful, in staying accurate to the purpose, to the first thought, to the first like to the initial process that you were that you entered this situation looking for, right? Looking to pursue this goal, looking to accomplish this mission, right? So standing your ground, but standing your ground like as in like, you know that you're going in, but you want to come back out, right? And so this thought, this thread, this mental and emotional thread that is connected to Ariadne, or the Queen of Cups, whoever she represents, it is more than enough. But beyond that, there is also this mental recognition, mental reward that I feel like is going to be seen as this upgrade in terms of your credibility, in terms of how you are perceived by others, or at least how you perceive yourself among others that have your respect, right? So it's almost like you're entering this mission to receive respect, to be seen with this admiration, with this respect by whoever this King of Pentacles is, right? And not only I feel like you really are able to conquer that, but I feel like there is this very divine guidance, right? It's beyond just this emotional thread, right? It's like, I feel like it's interesting because now this Six of Cups is like, it's coming through as like that. It's almost like I'm seeing a braid, right? There is this braid. The thread is not like a one line, you know, a continuous line, right? It's more like this interlacing of emotional and mental and perhaps even, you know, physical. Like there is like this potential, I don't know what I'm saying. It's almost like there is this interlacing of different elements that make this thread very visible, very, at least for you, it is very perceivable, right? It's like, it's almost like, you know, if you enter an app, a social media app, and you set a timer, right? That is going to be your thread to help you not get lost into it, right? So that's what I mean. It's like there is this interlacing of emotional, mental, and physical components, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like with the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords, and ending here with the Star card, I feel like there is, it's like there is this physical part to it that is helping you in this, it's like in this mission, but it's like you don't see it until you come out of it, right? It's like this divine guidance is very subtle. It's in this thread, right? It's in this braid. It's like, it's part of what makes this thread something that you can trust, right? Something that you can, that is actually holding a specific position that you want to return to, right? And that is, I feel like that is only, you're not aware of it at the beginning, because at the beginning you can only think of this initial thought, right? It's like the most important thing is your initial question, right? What is this, what are you in search of? What is this quest about, right? It's like that is the only thing that you have to worry about. That's the only thing that you need to focus, right? So when you come out, it's like there is this, well, now you have experienced so many things inside this maze that I feel like your mind will have expanded, but also you will be able to perceive like the divine guidance that was always side by side with this stimulus, right? With this emotional stimulus, right? With this desire to come back to a loved one, right? But it's not until the end, I want to say, that you know that this divine guidance was there, which is interesting, right? It's because it's almost like it doesn't want to be another distraction, right? So it's there, it's with you, it's part of this braided thread, but it's like you don't have to think about it, you don't have to worry about it, right? This is part of the upgrade, this is part of the prize, this is part of the reward, right? Perceiving what was the energy that was guiding you all along. So that is really interesting and very fascinating, like how the myth, you know, blends so beautifully with your reading today, Scorpio. So I hope this was helpful. I am going to pull more cards for you, as well as the astrological runes. So if you want to join me in the extended reading, I'll be happy to see you, and actually very intrigued to see what is going to come. So you can find the link down below. But if not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.